Nobody tells you this, but the most dangerous moment in your financial life is not when you are broke. It is when you almost feel safe. There is a specific number where people either level up permanently or quietly slide back into stress without realizing it. It is not six figures, it is much smaller, and if you misunderstand what happens at this point, you lose years without knowing why. What I want to show you is what really changes once you save your first 20,000, not just in your bank account, but in how money treats you, why pressure starts to fade, why your options expand, and why some people hit this number and still stay stuck. If you understand this shift, 20,000 becomes momentum. If you do not, it becomes a trap. Most people do not feel poor because they earn too little. They feel poor because they are exposed. One unexpected bill can throw everything off. One job issue creates panic. One mistake leads straight to debt. You might be earning okay, you might even be saving, but there is still that background tension, the feeling that things are fragile. That is not about income, that is about not having a real buffer. For most people, that buffer does not truly exist until around 20,000. The first thing that changes at this level is how problems feel. Emergencies stop feeling like disasters. Before this point, every expense feels personal, almost threatening. After this point, the same problems shrink. A repair, a bill, an unexpected cost, still annoying, but no longer overwhelming. Your brain registers something important. I can absorb this. That realization changes your behavior, but the bigger shift is not safety. It is leverage. Before 20,000, your time is fragile. You need the paycheck. You need the job to work out. You need things to stay stable, so you tolerate more than you should. Bad schedules, low respect, unfair situations. After 20,000, something subtle happens. You do not have to react instantly. You can pause. You can think. You can walk away. And the moment you can walk away, power shifts. Not because you are rich, but because you are no longer desperate. Systems respond very differently to people who are not desperate. Another change most people do not notice at first is how their thinking stretches. Before this point, life is measured in paychecks, days, weeks. After this point, your mind starts thinking in months and years. You start asking different questions. What happens if I change jobs? What if I take a calculated risk? What if I plan long-term instead of reacting short-term? This is not a money upgrade. It is a psychological one. And it is rare because many people never stay here long enough to benefit from it. This is where 20,000 becomes dangerous. When people hit this number, they feel relief, and relief lowers discipline. They upgrade their lifestyle slightly. They loosen their habits. They assume the hard part is over, but 20,000 is not a finish line. It is a doorway. Treat it like permission to consume, and you fall backward. Treat it like capital, and everything changes. This is also the point where the system quietly treats you differently. Better terms, more flexibility, less urgency to borrow. But the biggest change is not external, it is internal. You stop rushing decisions. You stop accepting bad deals. You stop trading long-term stability for short-term comfort. The system does not reward intelligence as much as people think. It rewards stability, and 20,000 is often the first time someone becomes stable enough to stop making defensive choices. That is when growth finally becomes possible. Before this level, saving feels like protection. After this level, saving feels like positioning. You stop seeing money as something to spend or show. You start seeing it as something that gives you options. You ask better questions. What does this money enable? What risks can I take safely? How do I protect this foundation? This is where investing begins to make sense, not as a gamble, but as a process, and it only works because the base is already there. Here is the realization that changes everything. 20,000 does not make you wealthy. It makes you harder to control. You are less reactive, less emotional, less dependent on perfect timing. You stop asking how to survive this month and start asking what kind of life you are building. Money did not change who you are. It changed the pressure you are under. And pressure is what keeps most people stuck. Remove enough of it, and progress becomes almost inevitable. Oh, if you are working toward your first 20,000, understand this. You are not just saving money. You are buying time. You are buying clarity. You are buying breathing room. And if you have already crossed this line, do not waste it trying to feel rich. Use it to become free, because most financial breakthroughs do not come from earning more. They come from reaching the moment where money finally stops chasing you, and for many people, that moment starts right here with the 20,000 shift.